Sony recently bought a studio, and in the last minute of development, the game pivoted to an extraction shooter. The outlook on this game is feeling like another Concord, but the reason why is completely different. If you thought Marathon's numbers were bad, then wait until you see the issues that Fairgames is facing. Crazy shakeups within the company, and the plan is still being drawn up towards the back end of the game's development cycle. If that wasn't enough, another similar title might be the nail in the coffin for Fairgames. Sony needs to get their crap together because I can easily make too many videos of all the mistakes they've been making lately. If you like what I'm doing here, like, subscribe if you want to follow the latest discussions about extraction shooters and competitive games in general. Let's get into it. Sony bought Haven Studios in 2022, and Fairgames was revealed to be a competitive heist experience a year later. And let me be clear, since this confused me. Fairgames is the title of the game. Sounded like a studio to me at first, so they really started off on the wrong foot by giving a game a horrible name and a confusing name. There was a lot of mystery for this game, and its first game trailer reminded me of Payday, but it looked a bit cooler. Personally, I could never get into Payday, so this seemed like something I could actually try. But way later in its life cycle, the devs decided to throw a curveball at us. Recent reports said the game has now added an extraction shooter mode, and man, I love extraction shooters, but this can't be something you just throw in last second. I think I know why they pivoted last second, and it's gonna be more than one reason, but I don't think it's gonna help the game at all. Now, as much as I think that monkey character in the trailer looks really cool, honestly I do, but that's not gonna change the fact that there's another game that directly competes with this game made by the team that made another successful game called GTFO. If you don't know GTFO, you might not be a dedicated Steam user. It's a game I've wanted to play for a long time, but I've always heard I would need a dedicated friend group that would team up if I wanted to have any chance of playing the game and having fun with it. Honestly, I wish I could get into that game. But the game that is in direct competition with Fairgames is called Den of Wolves, and this game has been getting praised. This game looks like it fills the exact same space that Fairgames is going for, but instead of negative sentiment by the people who have played Fairgames, Den of Wolves is getting praised. It's the yin to Fairgames' yang. And 10 Chambers, the studio behind Den of Wolves, has ex-Payday devs too. So what can Fairgames do when they're competing with an experienced studio with an established fan base? Insert extraction shooter. Why? I mean, I'm gonna try it out and review both Fairgames and Den of Wolves, so subscribe if you want updates on my thoughts on those games. But man, why does Sony think taping on an extraction shooter mode to the game will save it? Bungie is supposed to be an advisor. Is that what they're suggesting, or do they have any involvement in this? I want to get into what people are saying on Twitter and Reddit, so let's review a few of the things that they're saying. This guy is talking about how the game has been getting horrible reception and wondering why they don't just put this game in the grave already. It's just gonna cost them money. Now, I don't know that. I hope that isn't the case, but if what the reports are saying, it does not look good. This next post is being said by a lot of people on Reddit. Sunk cost fallacy. Rather than taking on the loss, they're thinking, hey, we spent this amount of money on the game, let's just finish it. And yeah, maybe they should finish it. Maybe there's gonna be something that happens that's unpredictable. Maybe it's a big hit. Personally, without me playing it, without me knowing anything about it, I don't think it will be a big hit. It's already got a lot of negative sentiment about it, but I am hoping for the best. There are some people behind these games, so I don't want anyone to lose their jobs. I'm always hoping for the best for a game. Now, this tweet is kind of funny. This guy wants this game to be on Polymarket. This guy wants to bet on the game. Now, we know the game isn't looking good when we got people wanting to bet on the game's success or failure. Now, this tweet brings up a good point. Everyone's going in on extraction shooters right now. Now, I've said in videos past, I don't think the market is flooded with extraction shooters that people actually want to play. We've got The Division, which I love The Division. Arc Raiders, love Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is actually the biggest, just like in this Reddit post, it's saying Arc Raiders might be the peak of extraction shooters. And that honestly probably will be the case in my opinion. I feel like it's not going to be higher than Arc Raiders, but the Arc Raiders numbers are dipping. And then we've got Delta Force and we've got Marathon. There's other extraction shooters, but the casual audience is mainly going with Arc Raiders, and even The Division, I would say that's more of a casual extraction shooter. But there is a lot of room for other extraction shooters. There's the Disney extraction shooter that I mentioned in one of my previous videos, and there's another extraction shooter shooter that's coming up from a developer that you all know very well. So I'm sure it's going to get high praise when everyone hears about that extraction shooter. That was sarcasm if you can feel that out. But I get what this guy is saying. People are chasing trends and you should not be chasing trends. You need to be innovating. You need to be doing new things. I mean, I guess it's good that you're in the same genre, but don't just chase the trend and just put on a new skin. It might work for Disney though. It honestly might work for Disney. I feel like it worked for Fortnite. I know Fortnite's not just like PUBG, but Fortnite saw PUBG and that's kind of how it was created. They made it way better in my opinion. I'm not a big PUBG guy. I liked Fortnite. Didn't get too into it, but I see what they're going with. I can see the Disney extraction shooter being really big with the casual audience. But Sony, this is not good. You're flopping so many games at such a rapid rate. I'm concerned like a parent is to their child that messes up big time and then messes up again, not learning from his mistakes. We're getting a lot of news of upcoming extraction shooters, and although I think there's enough space for other extraction shooters, I don't think taping on an extraction shooter mode on Fairgames is going to keep the game from failing. It's not going to keep Den of Wolves from taking some of that player base, if not the majority of the player base. It might actually make the ship sink faster, and it might even compete with Marathon, who's already struggling with a player base right now. A game that I love. If you've seen my previous videos, you know I love that game. But who's running the show here? Wasn't Bungie brought in to help the live service games? Are they helping other Sony studios or are they just making it worse? We don't know. We do know how the Destiny crowd feels. There's so much more I have to say. I'll save that for a future video. This video kind of got me a little worked up when I was writing the script, but thanks for making it to the end if you did. I really appreciate you guys. Take care and have a good one.